It is time. It is finally happening. We finally have a KOTOR remake officially announced. And there's a lot of speculation surrounding this because of how they went after some of the people that were fan remaking it, as well as a lot of more recent releases of Revan themed memorabilia, both in the Galaxy's game, the Black Series figures. We got a Black Series Revan lightsaber that was made, and usually they reserve a lot of those items like that for material that's going to be relevant, that they think is going to sell. A lot of the times sticking just purely to the movies. I think that's one of the few game sabers that have been officially released by Lucasfilm. So I'm curious what's going to happen with that. Let's check out the trailer. Like, I really wish I could have recorded my reaction to merely seeing the headline. Sith code. My boy.
Now they wield it. We face the greatest Sith in generations.
Oh, it looks so good. Dude. Legend remade for PS5. Aspyr. This is their biggest project to date. So I did read about this ahead of time because I mean the headline itself is pretty much the trailer. I mean, watching this trailer really didn't evoke too much, to be honest. Again, this, like I had mentioned with the Spider-Man trailer, or about what I was talking about, the Wolverine trailer, that had I been watching the showcase live, I would have lost my shit at this moment. But I already saw the headlines. KOTOR remake announced, all this stuff, because I was working on a bunch of edits for something else yesterday. So by the time I started to see what all new has come out today, and it was just everywhere, man. And just seeing that, like, just put so much joy into my heart. It just reminds me of the time I stumbled upon the announcement for the Final Fantasy VII remake. I was literally taking a dump and started crying when I saw that they announced that. I was like, holy shit, it's real, it's happening. And it was pretty much the same vein with this, man, except not taking a dump this time. Stories you probably shouldn't share. Anyway, I'm really looking forward to this. Like, I started reading more into it to learn more about it. It says it's built exclusively for the PS5. From what I understand, it's a timed release for the PS5, but is also simultaneously releasing on the PS5 and PC. So it's only a console exclusive at this point. So it's kind of doing like what Microsoft has been doing with a lot of their releases. So it comes out on Xbox, comes out on PC, and then maybe later it'll release after a timed experience onto the other platforms. So that's my understanding of it. That's what I've been reading, is that this will be, and I've seen a lot of concern from some people as well. It's like, oh crap, well, I don't have a PS5, or I'm not gonna be able to play it. But if you've got a PC, if you've got a gaming PC, you should be fine from what I've read. My big questions: what kind of a remake is this going to be? Is this going to be merely a remaster? Is this going to be a actual remake? From what I understand, they're rebuilding the game from the ground up using modern techniques, using modern systems. They're just going to be rebuilding it whole, in that what we saw here visually with Revan is kind of the visual aesthetic we should expect from the game as far as the visual fidelity is going to go. But they are very vague on what is going to be changed and what is not. And it makes me wonder how much of the game will still be there. Like the dialogue trees, the depth of choice, the depth of influence on your own, the way you craft your own story. And then also like my questions about whether or not they're going to use this as a way to bring the story into the canon. Will they still allow you to do the character creation, or will you be locked into the canon version of the character, or what used to be the canon version of the character? Or will you still be able to create your own version of the character that you play throughout as you go through this journey to face off against Revan? I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna spoil anything in the game for people that have not played it. I know it's 1,000 years old at this point, but there's plenty of people that are just now getting into Star Wars thanks to the sequels and Mandalorian and stuff like that. So there's some fun twists in there. So I won't spoil too much of it if I can avoid it. But then again, I fan gush over this so much sometimes I might uncontrollably say something, and if I do, I'm sorry. But I'm really looking forward to that. I'm really like the RPG element is something that I'm wondering if how much of that they're gonna keep intact. Is this gonna be like Final Fantasy VII Remake, where they are going to update it to where it fits in with what we've learned in the future? Or are they going to use it to tie in things that have come about? Now, this is like 3,000 years prior to the mainline Star Wars films, so it's not like there's going to be any connecting story threads or anything like that, obviously, but things that they could allude to or anything like that. Or is this just going to be exactly like it was before? Is it still going to be like the RPG style fighting? Or is it going to be updated to, like I said, would it be more like the Final Fantasy VII Remake where it's more action oriented? I'm curious to see what they're going to do with it, because like I've said, they've been very vague about it. They've brought on a lot of industry professionals, people that actually worked on the original game. Something that made me wonder if they're going to be updating the combat is because they hired a couple of developers from FromSoft and some people that had previously worked on Dark Souls and Ghost of Tsushima into this to help with development. So they've been pulling in a lot of people from a lot of different resources, a lot of different backgrounds, including some people that worked on the original game. So I'm really curious about this. Just like with the Final Fantasy VII Remake, my hopes are high, but I've got to try my best to temper my expectations, because anytime they've tried to bring this story into canon, it usually ends up cut out, because it was going to be in the Clone Wars and they had to cut it. He was going to be mentioned in one of the films and got cut. It's like, and then all we know of the current canon is just that the character of Revan exists. We don't know how much of the legend story is actually true, how much of his books are true, how much of whether or not the games are true, and I'm just really still holding out for this to be more tangible in the greater world of Star Wars. But even if it's not, I'm really excited to dive back into this game and play it again. This will be yet another game I want to play with you guys and share on the channel, so I will be trying to make as much of my playthrough of this game whenever it comes out. And it's going to be a long way away. We just saw that little tease. I doubt that this is like within a 2-year window of release. They've said they've been working on it for a while now. The production on it has started long before this announcement, but I still would have to imagine that anything tangible will be kind of far away. But I'm excited, guys. Are you? Sound off the comments. Let me know your thoughts down below. We'll carry on the conversation after the video. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, leave a like, comment, subscribe, or we can continue this conversation on my socials or in the Discord if you want to join those. Those links are down in the description of this video. Before we go, I want to shout out our channel legends: Mandy Share, Ryan Karen, Jason Coleman, Philly Vane, Yuri Korskov, and Margaret Grace. Thank you guys so much for your support. That's it for this video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody.